Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and today we're gonna go over all of the updated deck lists for new and returning players for Into the Emerald Dream. These decks will be available on March 25th and onwards for new and returning players, meaning to qualify for these, you either have to be a brand new player playing on a brand new account, or I don't know, you just started another account to play on your alt, you know, a burner, whatever you want. You'll be offered all these decks that you can try out for a period of 7 days, and then you can pick one, or pick one earlier than that, whatever you want. Or you're a returning player who hasn't logged into Hearthstone for 90 days or more. You will be offered one of these decks completely free for you to keep. And yes, this will not go live until March 25th when the Emerald Dream goes live. So we're gonna go through all these decks, give my recommendations on maybe the ones you wanna pick, maybe the ones you wanna avoid, and we'll go from there. And if you enjoy the content on the channel, you want to stay up to date with all the Hearthstone news in the world, get deck recommendations, card reviews, gameplay videos, this is the place to be. So hit that sub button down below, give the video a like, it helps us out a ton as we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. So yeah, 6 decks you will have the option to pick from. You get to keep one, and that's all the cards. You get to keep them. They're in your collection. You can disenchant them unless they're a core set card, meaning they're already in the free core set. Then you already have the card for free. They don't give you that one, unfortunately. So first we have Battlecries and Cruisers. Takes the StarCraft mini set cards, which launched recently, that are built around Jim Raynor, which will be 8 mana when the Emerald Dream goes live, which resummons or relaunches every Starship you launch that game. So an example is Arcanite Defense Crystal. When this card dies, it's a Starship piece. It'll go dormant, meaning it takes an empty spot on the board. You spend 5 mana, you can relaunch it and then gain this minion again and its armor, and then combine it with all other Starships that have died in that game. You can discount a Starship launch with a card like Lock On, which sets a minion's health to 1. Your next Starship costs launch costs 2 less. So there's some mana cheat stuff. It's a really cool mechanic, and it's also been nerfed very heavily. Starport been nerfed. A bunch of these Starship pieces will do a lot worse when the expansion goes live. So really hard to evaluate how good this deck will be. But in terms of this deck, you're getting Jim Raynor, which is a legendary. Shutterblock is a legendary, and Shutterblock will definitely continue to see play. You do get one more legendary in Turbulus, which is a Hunter Tourist that lets you play Hunter cards from Perils of Paradise, and it's just a good standalone card. So you're getting 3 pretty good legendaries. Gorgon Zormu, I believe, is a free card, so it's not really any value there. But in terms of performance, before these nerfs went live, it was really good. We don't really know after. It doesn't look that safe, but you're getting a few legendaries, and if you like Shaman, it might be a deck worth trying out. Next, we have a deck that I don't believe has any cards getting nerfed on this list, and that is Protos Mage, where it's built around the Colossus, where you're casting Protoss spells like Chrono Boost or Resonance Coil or other spells like that. You can generate more, and then it does increasingly more and more damage, helping kill your opponent. You have the hero card of Artanis, which has a Battlecry summon 2 3/4 Zealots with charge. So these guys, your Protoss minions cost 2 less this game. So all of a sudden my Colossus is 10, and you can make it a bit cheaper with like a Warp Gate. You can make it cheaper with a Photon Cannon. So that's pretty nice. In terms of value of the deck, well, you're getting a legendary in Artanis. You're getting Puzzle Master Kagdar, really good card. Cast some random spells. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but overall it's worth running in your deck. And you get Grifta, another pretty good legendary, and it's neutral and can go into other decks. So you're getting a pretty good value. The only epic I believe is Primordial Glyph, but that's in the core set for free, so you're not really getting that value in terms of dust. But this deck looks pretty good after rotation, and just overall decent value, and it's a fun playstyle. You get to cast a lot of spells, get some random generation. It can be a pretty good deck, pretty good time. Definitely one of my more recommended ones on this list. Next, we have probably the best deck that you're looking at for this on this whole list is Seaside Discovery. Basically, Discover Hunter. It's built around Exarch Niall. This legendary, which is just insanely good if you want to play Hunter, replaces increases your hero power with tracking. So 1 mana, you get to discover a card from your deck. It's basically this spell for a hero power, which is really nice. And you have a card like Rengari Scout. After you discover a card, you get a copy of it, which is also, you know, you get all this value. So you have discover cards like Creature of Madness. We have Mixologist. We have Raptor Herald. But we get the legendary Incendious. We get the legendary Ceaseless, which will be a 10/10 when the expansion goes live, but still an incredibly good card. And again, Grifta, which gives you, again, a neutral option. So you're getting 4 craftable legendaries here, right? Ceaseless, Incendious, Grifta, and Niall. Gorgon is a free card, but still in the deck list. And you're also getting Seaside Giants, which I think are going to get nerfed after this expansion goes live at some point. So you might even get a dust refund on that. So the value is really good with this deck. And I believe this to be a deck that will perform pretty well, or the key pieces in it will be in the version of the deck that does really well. This is highly recommended, unless you just don't want to play Hunter or discover a bunch of cards, but it's a fun deck to play. It's a rewarding deck to play, and it can do some real good work. So this is probably the most recommended of the decks, I will say so far, probably overall. Let's look at Demon Hunter with Starship Crew. So again, with these Starship pieces style of archetype, where you're going to bring back more of a tempo version of the Starship stuff. So you have Fell Fused Battery. So this like increases the attack on your minions if it attacks while it's on the board. And you also have Shatter Shard Turret, giving your Starship Rush, Wind Fury, and all that. But overall, the main value you're getting here is Arana. This is a tourist card for Priest, allowing you to play Priest cards from Perils in Paradise. That includes like this Priest card here, Brain Masseuse, which is a really, really good card, but just a common. Yeah, but in terms of value, again, we're looking at Arana. You get Durdra, which is another legendary, which shuffles crewmates into your deck. Not a very good legendary right now. Maybe it will be at some time, but not currently right now. And you get Patches the Pilot, which is an incredibly good Demon Hunter legendary. Basically goes into every Demon Hunter deck. It's really solid. And you get an Epic and Ace Wayfinder, which does not see a ton of play. Feels pretty out of place in this list, honestly. The crewmates you generate off Durdra and like Headhunt gain the bonus effects, but overall not great. You get an Epic and Emergency Meeting, but again, not a phenomenal deck, and the value on this deck is pretty low. I would probably pass on it. It doesn't look very competitive. Value's low. Certainly one you'll definitely probably want to pass unless you really want to play Demon Hunter. Death Knight gets a double Frost Unholy. If you're not aware, those are the runes you got to deal with when you're building a deck in Death Knight, and it's basically all about the StarCraft mini set, which has a card that will be nerfed when this deck goes live, the Infested. It'll be a 4/2 and will only give your Zergs +1 attack, which does not seem very good, and you don't get much value with this deck. You have Kerrigan, which will be 8 mana when the expansion goes live, summoning 2 Hive Queens and dealing damage, which at 7 is incredible. At 8, we don't know so much. And again, you're lacking real value with this deck. You only get the legendary of Kerrigan, I believe, at all. And epic wise, you only get Auchenai Deathspeaker, which is not seen competitive play whatsoever. Does not seem very good in this deck. And this deck, again, is getting nerfed pretty hard. I would hard pass on it. Value super low on this deck. The playstyle, I think Death Knight's gonna be doing other stuff in Emerald Dream, and you're just not getting the value you want. You're not getting good legendaries, not getting good epics. Hard pass, despite Death Knight being arguably my favorite class, like, of all time at this point. It was introduced like just a couple years ago. It's an awesome class, but I just can't recommend that deck. And then lastly, we have Taunting Terran, again using StarCraft stuff with Starship pieces like Yamato Cannon, which you can do some pretty cool stuff with, like killing minions, but it's another deck that's been nerfed. Ceaseless is a 10/10. You'll note when the expansion goes live, Hydration Station will be a 10/10 and 10 mana, and these Starship pieces all have been nerfed. So in terms of a deck and its strength, we're not sure if it'll be that good in the next expansion. Ziliax is a legendary you'll get. This virus module will be missing Reborn when the expansion goes live, but you get a lot of value with this deck. You're getting a legendary in Ceaseless, a legendary in Ziliax, 2 epics in Sleep Under the Stars. You're getting a legendary in Kill Jaden, in Jim Raynor, in Ham the Hungry, and you're getting epics in New Heights. The legendaries here, Bulwark and Bob, are both free cards, so they don't really factor in the value. But other than that, you're getting a lot of legendaries. You're getting a lot of epics. We just don't know how good this deck will be. So to me, this is probably the second most recommended deck. Definitely the best in terms of value, but overall, yeah, it plays a more slow control style where you want to bring back big taunt minions, and Kill Jaden lets you have infinite demons. Plus, this is a neutral legendary, which can go into any class, and I think will be pretty meta throughout the year. And Ham lets you play the Druid cards like Sleep Under the Stars at New Heights, which is really nice for Warriors. So, of the 6 decks, I would recommend the most Seaside Discovery, a lot of value, and the most competitive of the decks. After that, probably Taunting Terran, because you get a ton of value, and the deck might be good, and you get good neutral legendaries to go with it. And after that, Colossus Protos, because I think it'll be a pretty good deck, and you get decent value out of it. The rest, probably a hard pass, but again, it's up to you what you pick, and you can try them out for free while you have that limited time opportunity. So hopefully this helps you make your choice. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.